It's just me, BB, and welcome to It's BB TV. I'm coming. I had this long piece I want to do, but I don't have the energy to do it tonight. So I just figured I'm sitting here. I might as well take a few minutes and go ahead and talk about why we just need to throw the whole damn DNC away. Like, seriously, people. November the 3rd. 5 days out from the election, you send your best campaigner on the road a week out. People have been voting for 2-3 weeks in different areas, like all over the country. Early voting started a week or two ago. You know he's your best campaigner. He's your most articulate Dem to put the message out there. And then as soon as he gets out there, this is what kills me. As soon as he gets out there, everybody else gets on message. Like, seriously, everybody gets on message. Everybody knows what to say. They know how to say it. They know how to say it in a way that translates to the everyday person. Guys, this is critical. This is crucial. This is not anything light. We are talking about the democracy of America. And you Dems waited until a week out to deploy President Obama? What are you thinking? You know, when I was watching Morning Joe, which I watch pretty much every morning when I get up. I'm watching it this morning. I've been watching it all week because the elections are imminent. And I have a need to know what's happening in the various races, what happened overnight, a recap of what people, kind of coalesced around what happened the day before. So I tend to watch political news every morning when I get up. God, I'm so frustrated. I don't know what to do. So anyway, I'm watching, and I think to myself, they're talking about how, one of the things that was mentioned this morning was how the polling, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I'm sorry, I know I'm jumping all over the place, bear with me. 2 to 3 weeks ago, all the shows started referencing the various polls and how the leading number one issue that kept coming up in the polls was the economy. So everybody's out here talking about the economy, the economy, the economy, the economy. Now, we pay pollsters thousands of dollars, hundreds upon thousands of dollars to poll and see what's important to people so the politicians can develop their messages around what's important to people. That's what these people get paid to do. This is what the DNC is paying somebody to do, to share with the candidates so that they can share with the people. So I know I'm skipping all over the place. I already said, please bear with me. Over the summer, they reversed Roe versus Wade, and it was crystal clear that they galvanized a lot of people, not just women, men, young, old. It galvanized a lot of people. Democrats started to pick up steam behind this issue and started to campaign pretty, strongly on this issue, and started to see some, and in the red wave that has been predicted since before we even got to the midterms, started to shrink. The races started to tighten. Fast forward 2-3 months. Now we're at the beginning. We're knocking on the door of election season, early voting, and as always, the races tighten because people start to make their final choices. Everybody knows it's going to happen. It happens every cycle. It's not anything new. It's not anything you can't prepare for. It's not anything to anticipate. But for whatever reason, the commentators start talking about these tightening of the polls as if it's some phenomenon. And oh my God, the races are getting tighter. Well, you knew they were going to get tighter. Don't they get tighter every freaking cycle? Every freaking cycle. Not one cycle. Not every other cycle. Every cycle they tighten up. Okay. So last month or so, leading into what I'm talking, throwing away the entire DNC. polls are getting tighter and tighter, showing the different races. Fetterman versus Oz up in Philadelphia and their debate. J.D. Vance, Tim Ryan, ongoing polls and their debate. Liz Cheney on the stump for Democrats. You know, they're showing all the stuff, and all they're talking about, though, is how much progress the Republicans are making and how the Democrats are all trailing in the polls. You know what they said today? So the number one thing was, it's tightening. The polls are tightening. The Republicans are starting to pull away. And we're back to talking about the red wave. It's like it's a script, and they don't know how to say anything else than what they're expected to say at each period or stage in the process. So today I'm watching Deadline White House. I'm actually working on something else, but I have Deadline White House playing in the background because I typically work to the news, political TV shows mainly. So the gentleman, and I apologize for not knowing his name. I'm going to try and put it down in the corner so that you'll know it, but give him his credit. Anyway, he said the exact same thing. And so this morning when I'm listening to Morning Joe, I said to myself, I made myself a note. It's right here. I said, they just need to, I wrote it on one of my smaller notepads. Just throw the whole DNC away. What are we paying? What are you guys, what are we sending you our good hard-earned money for if you can't do your job, which is to effectively come up with a strategy so that we can get messaging out to the everyday voters so they can make a good choice. Do you know what they said this morning, which was further elaborated on this afternoon in Nicole's show, Deadline White House? Do you know? You have any idea? They said, oh, let me just back up really quickly. One of the things they kept harping on these last 3 weeks was the number one issue is the economy. Economy and crime is number two. So Republicans are here campaigning on the economy and the fact that it's bad under Biden. I can't go there in this segment. And crime. Did crime change overnight? Did crime suddenly worsen in the last 6 months? Because crime ain't gone nowhere. And honestly, if I had the time right now, I would play you a clip from 1980 to now. How every election cycle, Republicans come out and say, crime, 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 be careful, crime, they're going to kill you in your sleep, crime. They're the ones sending people in the people's houses in the middle of the night, knocking old 82-year-old men in the head in their own house. They're the ones that's ravaging and attacking the Capitol and sending 140 plus police officers home from work and have congressmen and persons hiding under their chairs. Don't get me started. At any rate, economy and crime. That's what they talked about this morning. Economy and crime. Do you know what they had the nerve to say, if not during the Morning Joe segment, but definitely during the Deadline White House segment, in which the gentleman said, it's like the consultants pulled out the playbook, dusted it off, and said, oh, let's go to page 501, and we're going to do this. The same thing we've done every time. They said the number one issue, they said the polls that everybody is freaking relying on didn't even test, measure, poll for saving the democracy. That is the number one issue. Are you for this democracy? Are you for this country the way it is? Or are you for totalitarianism, authoritarianism? What is it that you want to govern this country? Do you want to be able to make your own choices, to go your own way, to have your freedom of speech, to have your right to guns, to have your amendment rights? Or do you want someone to tell you you can't get on birth control because that may cause you to not have a baby. And if you have a baby that is somehow uh, 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 in bad shape, you aren't able to have an abortion to not bring that baby into this earth, or if you're not equipped to bring that baby through to this earth. I am so frustrated with these people. I swear I feel like I need to quit my day job and just go out here and run some campaigns, because my God, what else do you guys need? Just what else do we need to tell you? Do your freaking job. Do your job. Get these polls right. Get this messaging right. If you guys don't know what you're doing, scrap bring in a whole fresh new team. Because I tell you what, Republicans know how to get on message. They stay on message, and that's how they win. It isn't because they do anything different. They do the same shit. They just do it more effectively than us. They get on message. They stay on message. And the message is the same thing. Economy, crime, they're coming for your guns, they're coming for your houses, they're coming to your neighborhoods. Do you know what I'm having to deal with? I have a neighbor who has a "Let's Go Brandon" sign in his yard. So you have one sign. Okay, little tiny sign over in the corner. All right, I know who I'm dealing with. I don't talk to them. I don't deal with them. That wasn't good enough. Then they go get a flag on their flagpole, and if I'm not mistaken, don't swear me to it. Occasionally he flies the actual flag. But here lately, he's been flying "Let's Go Brandon" and the Ravens. How about homeboy went and got a third sign? So I consider the flag sign number 2. Because, I mean, what else is it, right? He went and got a third sign. A bigger sign than the first sign. And now he has it angled at my front door. So I can't walk out my front door without seeing his freaking "Let's Go Brandon" sign. Come on, I'm trying to be polite because I don't know who will see this, and I be hoping my aunts and them don't. I don't really be trying to cuss in front of them like that, but everybody know I cuss a little bit. Come on, DNC. It's probably too late. You should have had Obama on the road 4 weeks ago. Even if he did the same schedule, even if he only had the same calendar. And at minimum, I honestly think you probably could have gotten 2 weeks out of him if he had done the same number of dates, but started a month ago, doing the same dates, and then potentially just did a second series of dates this week. Do you know what would have happened? Do you know what could have been different? What could have been different was all the coverage, because you can't turn on any political programming and not see a clip of what he said the night before. You literally cannot. So do you know what would have happened had you just been thinking a little bit? That messaging would have started to take root a month ago. And just like what's happening now, it would have been viral a month ago. And other people would have been able to pick up on what he so readily, easily conveys in everyday tone to your everyday person, would have been carried to other people so much further here a week out than had you started a month ago than you're starting now. You know how many people are hearing it and getting jazzed up, listening to him? Tons. Old, young, and new. Tons. And yet, the majority of people have either voted already. I know this is to target those that are thinking about maybe staying home and not voting at all, but that's not the point. It just would have been so much more effective had you just launched him a little earlier. Come on, people, get it together. Really, get it together. This is too critical. It's critical. It's crucial for you guys to be playing small ball the way that you guys are, with all that money that you have to actually make something really happen.